first and see. Okay. Can you see my slide?
Oh, yes, I can see your slide.
Okay. So basically, I will skip the talking about student brain at the moment because you told me that you are slightly learning on a slow mode. So they call the people who are slow learners actually hikers. So and they call the people who are fast learners are like supercars. Okay, so actually there is no harm of being a slow learner because when you are a slow learner, you actually tend to build a lot of memory chunks or links a lot. So we have two types of working. We have two type of memories: a permanent memory and we have a working memory. So the working memory normally have limited amount of spaces that we can hold information or data in, and you always need to depend on the permanent memory. So most probably people who have limited capacity in working memory, then they take long time to catch things. So typically you can catch on average between 4 to 5 things at the same time in the working memory. Okay, super learners can maybe hold up to 6 or 7 things or information at the same time, so they tend to get ideas on and tend to get solutions faster than other people. Okay, um, so your solution should focus always on building strong links on the permanent memory, and to build the chunks and the strong links on the permanent memory you need to practice a lot. Okay, you need to how to say, you don't let the material go out of your brain. So by doing so you allow your working memory with limited capacity to always recall the strong links from the permanent memory. Okay, so also, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so creativity and your emotional stability is actually working together. If you are angry, if you are sad, your creativity will go totally down. So you always have to keep your morals up, and you have to always monitor your emotional stability. So if you have an exam, the more you become tension, your creativity will actually get affected so much. Okay, so we move away from that and we talk about um, two types of modes that your brain can work in. Focus mode, when you are solving a problem, when you are inside an exam, then you are in a focus mode. And then there is another mode that only smart people learn how to use it. So, which is a diffuse mode. Diffuse mode is when you are in a relaxed state, when you are totally relaxing, when you're taking shower, when you are just sitting in a garden enjoying the view. So your brain works in a diffuse mode, and that is a mode when your ideas and creativity actually. So the ideas will rush to your brain for any problems that you have, or so your brain is actually working, but in the how to say, in the background. Okay, you are relaxing and your brain is working. So there is a trick that maybe some teachers or lecturers mention it, some don't, which is you it's proper that you always look at the exam questions one shot and read them one shot before you start answering. By doing so, you utilize the diffuse mode or the back end part of the brain when you are using the focus mode. So you give all the information to the back end brain and let it work on other things that you are not solving at the moment. So because if you have 3 questions, you start with question 1. Okay, and then the other 2 questions, the diffuse mode will work on, or the back end brain will work on them and will give you solution for them. Okay, So I don't know if you have tried that before, but I personally have tried that without even knowing that this is how the diffuse mode actually work. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, good. So let us move. I think if you already heard about data science, I wasn't sure if you already know about data science or not. So in data science, you have to deal with structured data, unstructured data. Do you know what is that?
Uh, Structured data, I think it's like how to say it? I'm not.
Tables, database tables, for example, is organized data. Okay, so
Yes.
okay, and unstructured data, it can be images, can be videos, it can be, if we're talking about the medical field, we can say about prescriptions from doctors. This is unstructured data. Okay, but if we have data that is organized in tables, so that's called structured data. Did you take anything related to SQL or MySQL or even databases or relational databases?
Uh, During my diploma, the first time I got introduced to intro to database.
Okay, so so if you introduce to databases, actually data is structured in a way that data with certain types, like for example, IDs is listed together. Data that have dates are listed and gathered together in columns and so on. So that's why we call it a structured data. So it's very easy to do analysis and study structured data compared to unstructured data. Okay, so when we have to deal with data science, actually, the most important thing is not the techniques that you learn how to do predictions or even analysis. The most important thing is that you prepare your data set properly and remove any disturbances or any abnormalities from the data. Okay, so your data set is actually, how to say, is your key to success. If you manage to deal with your data, with your tables, with your how to say, if you have a lot of tables, or if you have normally they call it data set. If you deal with the data set, and if you know how it looks like, if you clean it properly, then you will be able to do a proper analysis, and you will be able to do get a good result from your algorithms or predictions that you want to do with AI. Did you know what's the meaning AI? Do you know what AI
Artificial
can do?
intelligence.
Yeah, but what can it do? Do you know what can it do?
Uh, it will work in a way that our human brains work.
Okay,
Uh,
that's interesting.
like how we think of what we think, and then learn the behavior of us.
Okay, let me share with you something here. Okay, so pop, 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 pop. So can you see that image? Do I need to magnify it for you? Can you see that image?
Yes, I can see the image.
Okay, so that is a prototype that was done to recognize patients with a trained image, and we use AI on that project. So that project used Python and some other libraries called OpenCV. The purpose here was to provide images to algorithms in Python, and to train our algorithm to recognize people, but when they are exposed to accidents. So you provide, because at the normal situation, you have pictures of people in the normal state. They are running, they are jogging, they are just preparing themselves for taking pictures, but it's very hard for you to be able to get pictures for people who are in accidents, because I mean, uh, nobody will take a picture for you when he have an accident, you know. So you train the algorithms on pictures like that. here that I'm highlighting to you. To recognize what? To recognize when the people having an accident. So when they have an accident, the face is not normal anymore. You find blood stains on the face, and the face will, maybe they have a medical device attached to them for breathing or whatsoever. So the face will not look the same anymore. Okay, so the purpose of that project was to allow authorities and even medical staff to use smart cameras like that here, so that the smart cameras take a picture for a person and then search in the database for similar faces, so that we are able to make a facial recognition. So we can recognize the face, and by recognizing the face and connecting also that smart camera to something called at that time we use a smartwatch that measures a smart medical watch that measure the vital signs of the person. So that is the information listed here. Okay, so it measures the temperature, it measures the heart rate, blood pressure, and also the oxygen level of the person. So it also retrieves that data to the people who are using the smart camera. Okay, and it even can list any diagnosis stored in the hospital record for the person. All that without even coming nearby, or yeah, just from far away, because at that time it was time of COVID. So without exposing the authorities themselves to any danger dealing with a person in a problem, or having an accident. Okay, so that is a kind of AI. So you train your algorithm on something, and then it will try to find similarities in other things. You can, for example, also another use, that if you have a company data set information about the sales in the previous year, or maybe previous 3 or 4 years, you are able to get this data set, clean it, and make it remove missing data and so on, and prepare it in a way that you can start to analyze and tell. When you pass this data to normal AI algorithm, it can tell you, we are able to predict maybe increase in the sales in so and so months, or maybe decrease in the sales in so and so months. So do you understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Yes. Basically
Okay.
AI used to train the algorithm, and then it uh and then we use the you say the sales we use the sales data set and then remove the null data and then prepare it in a way for the AI to recognize it, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So that is in summary what we can achieve using the AI. So before you reach that, you pass your data to the AI algorithms, because there is a lot of algorithms in the AI. So before we reach that, as I told you, we have to do a lot of processing on the data set itself. To do that processing, we need certain libraries, and so some of these libraries, let me clean place here. Okay. Am I so fast? Do I need to slow down?
Uh, I think need to slow down a bit.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay. Okay. So actually, I would say uh, the data science have a roadmap. I don't want to push a lot of information to you, since you already highlight that to me. But I would say, as a start, you need to learn more about Python and a few libraries that is used with Python to analyze data and clean the data set. Okay, so that's one thing. And one of the things also that you need to be aware of is data visualization. So there is libraries that is provided to Python that we can use it for analyzing data. One of these libraries is Matplotlib and Seaborn. We also need to know about SQL and how to pass SQL queries through Python to databases. Okay, databases, there can be a lot of examples of databases, but let's talk now about or let's give an example that it is MySQL at the moment. Okay, but there is a lot of examples. So I wouldn't go in details since I don't want to rush a lot. Um, okay, so that is a kind of data visualization. So one more thing, just let me highlight to you. If you tend to forget things a lot, you have to utilize images. Our brain catch things when it is related to images. So if you tend to forget something, tie it to an image that you have in your brain. So there is a technique that they call it the palace technique. This technique is that you sit in a place that you already know very well, maybe in a room in your house, and then you look at the things that you know very well in your room, like your table, your bed, and so on, and then try to link things that you want to remember to the images of the things that you know in your room. Okay, so when you do that, of course it takes time at the start, but when you practice this technique a lot, you will start to this will help you to remember things that you tend to forget a lot. So as I told you, um, images stick in the brain more than the text and more than what you hear. So try to always use that. Okay, so what we are seeing on the screen here is actually data visualization. So that is actually information that we get from the data sets, and we try to make it visual to be able to recognize patterns. So if this is sales, for example, so you can see, oh, the sales go on certain year and maybe go up in certain years, then goes down on other years. So, and then you start to see, okay, we want to know what affect the sales here and what affected on that year. And so that is part of your learning to be able to do a proper AI solution to help the people know what they need to do, what the data tells them they need to do to be able to raise the sales or avoid such goes down on the sales. So that is part of the data visualization that we need to learn to do with Python. Also, we have something called dashboards. So dashboards, one of the popular and free tools that we can use is Tableau. So that is how it looks like, because normally when we are dealing with Python, and that is a lot of codes. Even with data visualization, um, you produce data visualization and charts and pie charts, but again you reproduce it in a way that it cannot be presented to the end user or even to the management. So to present things to the management, and they have always have access to live visualization to what is happening around, then you need to build things with using dashboards. Okay, but that should come at the end after you do your analysis and after you study your data set and clean it and prepare it and everything.
Mm.
Do you catch anything from what I'm saying? If you catch 50% of what I'm saying, that will be great.
Um, you mentioned that Tableau is like dashboard for to present to the end users to understand the data set, right?
To understand your outcomes and your final analysis, yes, from analyzing the data set, yes. So that come at the end stage. This is when you want to show to the users, but not in the analysis stage. So if you so in this stage, actually this data visualization, you do it for your own self. Yes, you can sometimes cut certain plots here and there and put it in a report for the users, but most probably what you are doing in that stage is actually for you only, for you and for the people who are programmers or even working in the data analysis stage. But in the tab view, that is presented, that is the end user look. This is what they see at the end. This is your preparation for them to see the data. You prepare a dashboard for them.
Okay.
Does this make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I also want to have a look with you here. Let me see. Pop. Have you seen a 2D array before?
I have learned 2D array before, but for array, I think it's very hard for me to understand and apply in my programming language.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me see then. Okay. I would okay, let me try to share with you some of the coding. Give me a second, please. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, did you deal with this online compiler for Python before? Definitely no, right?
No, for Python.
But again, it can be used for Java, for JavaScript, for SQL. It can use for anything. So actually, you can just let me see. We go to home. So I can create. Let me see. I can create a repo from anything. So it have here example Python, C, HTML, C++, Java. I can choose whatever. There's a lot of programming language I can use here. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So the best thing here that first when we use that, actually we are able to share with other people very easy. Okay. We can just copy the link here. I can give it to you. Then you have access to everything I'm writing. You can even so if I give you the link now, you're able to even change when I am writing, you know, or even when I'm seeing it here. So that is totally different. That maybe because I'm sharing the screen, then you are not able to share something with me. So that's a difference. Okay. So you are able to use other compilers for Python like idle or even PyCharm. But for the moment, I trust that this online compiler can do the job fast and efficiently. Okay, so even if I want to share exercises with my students, this makes is very easy to trace their answers and even to pass them exercises. Okay.
Okay. So this replay is only for basic jobs, right?
Somehow, yes. Of course, when we talking about running analysis for large data set, of course, this will not work. So this is only basics that I can, not basics, but it can take you on the intermediate level on the normal Python programming. But if you're talking about dealing with large data set, that needs a lot of memory. So that will not be allowed here. There is other online platforms that we can use for that, but not this one. Okay, so just I will try to do a few things here without going into too much details. So if I say str1 and this month, and we have str2 and we say Lee. Let me see. We are able to say full name equal str1 plus
The str1 variable you write wrongly.
Really? Okay, good. Okay, so okay, I want you to tell me or think with me what will be stored in the full name if we execute the code like that.
Desmond.
Okay, got space in the middle or no?
No space.
Do you know? Can you think how to add space if we want to add space?
Beside the D, put a space. Is it?
Yes, that is an option. Yes, we can do that, or we even can put a space here, right?
Yes.
But we also have the option to make a space like that. Or we can say space equal like that, and then instead of so we can say like that, full name, and then we try to run. See, can you see that output?
Yes.
Why there is no space?
Because the space didn't put you didn't space inside the space variable.
Okay, so
yes.
So now we have a space, double space actually, right?
Yes.
Okay, so do you understand what I do here when I printed that full name?
All the variable from string 1 to string 2 and then add together into the full name. Then
okay.
print it out.
Okay, so okay, that's good. That you are good. So do you think that this code will run if I do it like this? If I add a text without using the plus sign, and then I add it to my variable?
I think yes.
Okay, I want to know from you, what is a variable actually? So that is a variable, right?
Yes, variable.
Okay. Oh, what is the type of that variable?
String variable.
Perfect, perfect. So in Python, if we compare it to C or C++ or even to Java, we don't need to declare variables. What's the meaning declare? So normally, if we're talking about Java, then we have to say string maybe x equal maybe ahm. Okay, we have something like that. But so that's the first. Sometimes we even say like that. So that's the declaration. So you are telling the compiler, please reserve a place in the memory for a string and label that place in the memory, label it as X. But don't put any value inside. But then when you say X equal Lee, then the compiler go to that place that is reserved in the memory and put Lee inside that place. Is that clear to you? Does this make any sense?
Yes.
Okay, so that part is called initializing the variable. And that part is called declaring the variable. In Python, we don't need to do any declaration. So we just create a variable like that, and we assign something to it. And automatically the compiler understand that based on what I put here, that this is a variable that carries strings, and he will automatically go to the memory and reserve that specific place that fits a string. Does this make any sense, what I'm telling you?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not confusing.
Let's say if you say that the Python will recognize the thing that you initialize you put, right?
Yes, yes.
And then let's say if I put true or false, and then will it determine to Boolean also, or what?
Yes, yes, definitely, yes, yes.
Oh,
So
it will automatically.
yes, you don't need to yes, it will automatically recognize that. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So typically, so if we can we try to run?
I think
So
error.
yeah, why do you think that he doesn't? So you see, he's saying type error can only concatenate string, not pool. So this means that he recognizes status as a boolean without even me telling it. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So normally when we want to deal with strings, we need to convert. So let's say if I say num, or no, wait, I put age, that makes more sense. I put 70 inside, okay? But I want to add here, I want to say age equal, and then I want to add age. Can I do that?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yes, you are correct, because he recognize age as an integer. Okay, and he doesn't accept that. So I need to convert that age, that integer, to a string first. So will it run? Let's see. It runs. Okay, so we have certain functions that we can use that is able to convert between different types of variables. We are able to change an integer to a string, and we are able to change. So, for example, if I put like that, and I say increase, and I put here 1. So, and then I try to say new age equal, sorry, that's not allowed. This is like that. So I want to say age plus increase. Do you think I'm able to do that?
No,
Okay, why?
because 70 you put a string already, and then the increase is integer.
Okay, so I need to convert age into an integer before I do any arithmetic operation on it, right?
Yes.
This is correct, what I'm doing?
Yes.
Okay, so it means that it accepted that I add these two arithmetic once I convert age to an integer. Okay, so
Okay.
okay, we will only have 2 minutes before this session ends because of the limitation in Zoom. So let me summarize. Actually, Python is quite a strong language. Certain things that need maybe 3 or 4 lines with Java need only sometimes one line in Python. Okay, let me just share with you without going into so much details, and just to share with you here. Let me see. Yeah. So I understand that you said that the array is somehow difficult, but
Yes.
uh, but just to share with you, if I want to fill in a 2D array, I need this amount of lines. But if I want to fill in a 2D array of whatever in Python, I only need that line. So in summary, Python actually give you the tools to do a lot of things in with a short how to say, with a short keywords. So you can do many things in just one line. It takes you maybe 3 or 4 lines to do the same thing in other languages. Okay, so that is in summary. Okay,
Okay.
that's why they always will prefer Python for data analysis and for data science. So do you understand anything from what I shared with you?
Yes, understand.
Okay, do you find it easy to follow up?
Yes, I can find it easy.
Okay, so I think we only have less than 1 minute. So do you have any questions to tell me?
Um, let's say AI, right? Also using Python also or what?
Yes, AI actually using Python.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they use certain libraries from Python. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think in just a few